Oh, how wonderful to be back with you again. Merry Christmas. We're still in the season, right? Okay. Now, as a kid, I read every school book I could lay my hands on. I had a particular fascination with mythical creatures, unicorns and centaurs and elves and goblins. My favorite was the phoenix. This magical bird finds its roots in Greek mythology and has the power to rejuvenate. After living a full life of over 100 years, the phoenix doesn't just die. It bursts into flames and then burns to a crisp. Then out of the pile of ashes, a brand new phoenix emerges, younger, stronger, and with a fresh plumage of the most beautiful feathers you've ever seen. Now, I think my young mind was enthralled by the idea of a better, stronger creature emerging from the burnt-out ruins of its older self. But I have to say, it was recently, while writing this message, that the significance of phoenix mythology really crystallized for me. Now, let me ask you this. What kind of laptop do you use? I used to have an HP, a pretty solid machine that has served me well for over 2.5 years without any major issues, until one night when it froze up completely while I was typing. Now, I'd written quite a bit by then, so I panicked somewhat and called my friend in Cape Coast who knows everything a human could possibly know about computers. Now, he solved my problem with 3 simple words: restart your computer. Have you noticed how that is almost always the first thing the IT guy tells you to do when they're troubleshooting? Restart your computer. It's like those herbal concoctions they sell in trotros that can cure 99% of all diseases. So anyway, while I was waiting for my trusty HP to restart, I asked my friend how come rebooting was such a silver bullet for tech problems. Now, here's his explanation. He said, to carry out any task, your computer's brain has to follow a specific series of steps in a specific order. Imagine it as a path of commands. Okay, now when your computer freezes, it means it has encountered an obstacle in its path. It can't go over, under, or around it, so it's stuck. Now, to get it working again, you have to return it to an earlier point before the glitch occurred, so it can start a new path with no obstacles. That makes sense, doesn't it? I certainly thought so. In fact, that simple explanation by my nerdy friend helped me gain the most profound clarity around recent events. And I just had to share it with you this morning. Now, how many of you have set off along a path in your career, in your education, your love life, and hit a dead end? How many of you have set yourselves a goal and fallen short of it? How many of you have started a business venture and lost money? How many of you have embarked on a diet and lost the battle against a bar of chocolate? How many of you have tried to kick a bad habit and relapsed? How many of you have been working hard, striving for success, perfection, righteousness, or redemption, and suddenly hit a brick wall, slipped and fallen? Well, I know I have, several times. It hurts when we fall, and it burns when we make mistakes. Hitting a brick wall in any of our endeavors can be the most soul-sucking, demoralizing experience. We can't get over, under, or around it. We just feel stuck, wrapped tight in a blanket of helplessness that totally deprives us of options. Well, my friends, today I bring the solution. Restart your computer. Let's not be defeated by our mistakes. Let's see them for what they really are: opportunities to start afresh. Resit that exam, reapply for that visa, rewrite that report, renew those vows, restart that diet, return to the gym, rededicate yourself to God, reboot your life, and start a new obstacle-free path. And do it now. What better day for a new beginning than today? My name is Kojo Yankson, and I can't emerge stronger from the ashes if I never get burnt. Good morning, Ghana.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapita Sibidi. Now, President Akufo-Addo has reiterated his commitment to protecting Ghana's democracy and peace at a national Thanksgiving ceremony held in Accra Sunday following his victorious re-election. The president thanked all and sundry who voted for him, including the 6 million individuals who voted against him. He promised to be a president for all while doing everything possible to ensure the democracy and peace of the country is not disrupted by any group of persons.
To give him thanks for making it possible for this victory for the NPP, and also for continuing to secure the peace of our country. I want to thank the people of Ghana for maintaining their confidence in our leadership of the nation, especially the over 6.7 million people who voted for me. But in singling them out, I also want to assure the 6.2 million who did not vote for me that I will have their interests at heart and in mind in all that I do. I want to thank the clergy who have participated in today's ceremony, and for the clergy who over the last 4 years continue to pray for the peace of our nation and for the success of our government. I want to thank the national, regional, constituency, polling station executives, volunteers, sympathizers, and all members of our party who have worked so tirelessly for this victory.
Now, former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Opoku Nina, who delivered the sermon, cautioned prophets against predicting winners in impending national elections. He also urged the prophets to refrain from prophesying the death of people. He explained that such prophecies creates unnecessary tension and retards growth.
So, irrespective of where they come from and what party they belong to, Anna was again there, representing the prophets. There are only 5 women who have been addressed as prophetess in the Bible, and Anna was one of them. Anna was there to represent the true prophets of God. One of the offices which has been abused from ancient day to contemporary times is the office of the prophet. There are true prophets, but the true prophet must be an epitome of wisdom and knowledge such that his or her ministry must not bring confusion into a nation. Unfortunately, one of the women prophets mentioned in the Bible called Naomi followed money and gave false prophecy about one leader called Elijah. It is my plea to those who call themselves prophets in our country that they will exercise patience and wisdom and not to prophesy on who is becoming president and who will not, and not to prophesy of the evils that some people are going through, whether they are going to die or not. But if there's the mind of God that will grow our economy and grow our nation, may the Lord have mercy on us.
Apostle Opoku Nina also urged the NPP to investigate the loss of its MPs, particularly because of the massive developmental agenda executed under the Akufo-Addo administration.
There were many government interventions in the past 4 years. Why are there equal members of parliamentary seats for the MPP and NDCC in the next government? Why is it so? Is the MPP finding answers for why this is so? The MPP will need to go back to the drawing board and work on this one. Why should even the newest party, Ghana Union Movement, popularly called GUM, have such a number that it had to be placed third? Over 105,000. It appears that some people were saying that they were tired of the tide of politics that some members of the MPP and NDC were playing and wanted a change. Sometimes such people make it very difficult for some people who want to serve their country truly to serve, and even they serve with difficulty. All these thoughts on the minds of some many Ghanaians must be taken into serious consideration as you thank God and seek to enter and seek to encounter him afresh for the journey ahead.
Away from that, residents in the Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi and Likpe areas say they would go to court if the government and EC fail to attend to their concerns within the shortest possible time. Residents in these areas cannot take part in the parliamentary election to elect their representative because they do not fall within any constituency since the creation of the Oti region. Oti regional correspondent Peter Senu has more.
Residents of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe and Lolobi traditional areas say they feel shortchanged by the Electoral Commission after December 7 polls that saw the election of members of parliament and a president. Nana Kofi Olato IV is the Chidomhini for the Central Kofi traditional area.
So once our person is not there, we have been disenfranchised.
He also alleges that the area is in limbo, adding nothing comes from the Hohwe Municipal Assembly, which has a superintendent role over the area.
Still, for the past 1 or 2 years, the Hohwe Municipal is not superintending anything here.
So where do you fall in terms of administration?
We are just hanging.
Oh, really?
Yes, we are just hanging. The Hohwe Municipal Chief Executive just oversees us, but nothing from the Hohwe Municipal Assembly comes here.
And you have not even elected the assembly members, or you have?
Elected, but they were not inaugurated because you don't have the assembly.
The area, since the inauguration of the Oti region on 15th of May 2019, has been without a district and a constituency.
Almost to 2 years now, we are living in turmoil. We are living in limbo, because we don't have any father who will take any good care of us. We have been given a caretaker who is Honorable Andrew Steady Ofori, but yet we don't hear from him.
My name is Peter Senu for Joy News.
Now, Borno East Regional Minister Kofi Amwakohene has assured that an investigative committee will be established to interrogate the Techiman South shooting incident that claimed 2 lives and left several others injured. The Atebubu Amanting MP at a maiden meeting of the Borno East Regional Coordinating Council condemned the incident and called on aggrieved parties to seek redress through legal channels. Anas Sabit was there and came through with this report.
At the maiden meeting of the Borno East Regional Coordinating Council held at the Bununchempem Hall in Techiman, Borno East Regional Minister and Member of Parliament for Atibubu Amantin Constituency, Mr. Kofi Amwakohene, briefed members of the council on the current status of the region.
It's an exercise that has been a practice for the RCC, and we are following suit. So I introduced so far where we had come from to the people, and then from there I reiterated the developmental projects that have come into the region. This is where we are, and I believe that by the time we are done with this, we would have been able to know where we had come from as a region, and then where we are, and then where we are going from here.
Mr. Amwakohene, who is the chairman of the Regional Security Council, condemned the shooting incident at the Techiman South Coalition Center that claimed 2 lives and assured that the investigations has commenced by the election task force and officers found guilty will be made to face the full rigors of the law.
Security, yes, we had challenge, which I had condemned it, because in 21st century, under no circumstance that we should have an election or that any political violence that should lead to killing. I'm not condemning, I'm not saying who is right or wrong, but Ghana must grow beyond that in democracy. So we have condemned that. Even though investigation is ongoing, we are not passing judgment. No. We are saying the act is something that we need not to experience as a nation. So that was what came out of that. And then I assure the public that because an election task force was set, we have charged them with a responsibility, including the regional CDI, to come out with their report, and the report will be made known to the public.
The regional minister, however, called on aggrieved parties to seek redress through the appropriate channels and asked that various stakeholders are taking steps to find a lasting solution to the matter.
And then I also gave assurance in that context that security is protected, And then I also pleaded with the stakeholders and the people who are aggrieved to use the appropriate channels to address their grievances, because we have the courts, we have our chiefs, we have the Peace Council, and all other stakeholders, the clergy, everybody. And I believe that most of our election issues, we could find an amicable solution to that, something that will not interrupt the security of the nation.
Mr. Amwakwene highlighted some gains the region made within a short term after its creation. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tichiman.
The opposition NDC is asking the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, of the Ghana Police Service to investigate Asin Central MP Kennedy Ajapong for threats issued against some of its members. The party says the MP on his Medina-based Net2 TV threatened to have the properties of certain members of the NDC burnt, including former President John Mahama, NDC General Secretary Johnson Asirin Ketia, and NDC Director of Campaign Operations, Lieutenant Colonel Larry Blevu Latte. Already, Mr. Ajapong's comments have come under criticism from editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr.
I cannot believe it that in Ghana today, people can sit on television and proclaim that we burn a former president alive, and that they have surveyed and know where his house is. They can tell the Blolate that we know your house is in East Legon. We know where it is. We'll burn it down and so on, and nothing happens. And our security services say they have never heard this. They don't know about it.
The Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Jaman, says the next Speaker of Parliament must, among other qualities, be a unifier and independent. There have been concerns the 8th Parliament will be characterized by hot arguments, with both sides taking entrenched positions due to the hung nature of the House. Dr. Jaman says a good Speaker will be crucial.
Yeah, it's going to be a crisis-laden Parliament because of what we are seeing already. So for me, the kind of person that we should be looking for in the next Speaker of Parliament is, number one, I think we need somebody who is a consensus builder. Number two, we need somebody who has a lot of power of persuasion so that he or she can get the other side, whichever side that may be. But most importantly, he or she can also persuade his or her side to always come on board in terms of all the daily kind of challenges that we are going to be seeing. I think we also need someone who is fiercely independent. You want someone who would walk in the very first day. I think there is complete acceptance from both sides. Otherwise, we are going to have to deal with gridlock for the next 4 years. I mean, I've seen parliaments where right from day one is crisis and government business doesn't get done. And in the end, you look back and nothing has really been achieved.
Meanwhile, law lecturer Kofi Aboje is urging the two parties to reach a compromise on the selection of the Speaker.
That Parliament, the President hit the nail on the head when he spoke in his victory speech. He hit the nail on the head when he indicated that the people of Ghana have spoken to Parliament and indicated that members of Parliament and Parliament as a body must begin working together. I think that, as indicated, it's a loss for both sides. The NDC have made gains, but they still haven't, even if they win some of the seats that they're contesting, it's not as they were when they were in the majority some time ago. The NPP has...
the NPP you mean?
No, that's the NDC. The NDC had majority some time ago in Ghana. Right. I'm saying for the days when they had majority, they did not have... So even if they gain the seats they're fighting for now, it will still not be like the days when they had majority. The NPP had a stupendous majority, and now they're struggling to literally just have 1 or 2 people ahead. And that's... So both parties...
And in their case, whatever they do, they will not have what is comfortable.
Correct. So both parties have lost significantly. I expect, and giving you a suggestion, that this is the time for some back-channeling conversation. Unfortunately, because of all the disputations and confusion going on, it doesn't appear as if the parties are ready to sit yet. But I think that as and when the dust settles, there must be some back-channel, conversation for a compromised candidate to be suggested. And indeed, Parliament must begin really working with a bipartisan focus. Let's be honest. The only institution that, frankly, has still not been able to assume its proper constitutional roles since 1992 to today is Parliament. And parliamentarians will argue that there's a lot to do with the public doesn't see, etc. All well and good. But in terms of executive accountability, the one that is visible on the screens that we all see, since 1992, Parliament has yet to still perform that function. And so in this respect, this nail-biting, neck-to-neck contest between the parties in Parliament presents an opportunity for Parliament to start working as a corporate entity in its relationship with the executive, and in addition to that, particularly for the selection of the Speaker, because of what may potentially happen, who knows, because of all the court's prospects, both between the MPP. The MPP are going to court, I'm told.
Yes, they are going to court on a number
of
things.
Right, so because of all the permutations that may come out, it helps that any Speaker who's selected would not need a contest. And I think the best option at this stage is probably to look at some compromised candidates that the two parties may. But the breaking.
And that's it for the AM News with me, Mapito CBD. The show continues with Mama V and Gifty. Enjoy. Oh, thanks for still staying with us. It's the AM show. It's our very special edition. Thanks to Mapito Sibidi for the AM News. Time for us to do the review. Of course, papers are holidaying, so we will touch base with the online portals.
All right, so Mavi, which one are we starting with?
We will start from home.
Certainly. MyJoyOnline.com. So let's take a look. Our top story, NPP to dismiss MMDCEs who contributed to defeat of the parliamentary candidates. Okay, so that story is our very top story. We have other news. We will eliminate you. Manasseh Aziri receives death threat after writing opinion piece on election 2020. It gets uglier by the day, Mamavi, I should say. Now, this morning, we know that the GJA has released a press statement. In that press statement, they are actually calling on President Akufo-Addo to call people, to condemn this and to call people to book. Now, it's not just Manasseh Azuri. There are other journalists, including myself, who have received messages indicating that there's some message that said, we're coming for you, and whatever that means. So we have made a report to the police. We have yet to hear anything from the police. So this is a gentle reminder.
I guess in the course of this review, we can read out the GJA's statement, very strong statement that's coming on the back of all the threats that, first of all, Manasseh has received, but also journalists, including yourself and others across the country.
All of us who, almost all of us who were on air during the elections.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't make any sense. So we'll read the statement, but Mavi, let me go to the top stories, other top stories on the website, myjoyonline.com. Right next to Manasseh Azuri's stories, you have Bailiff says he was beaten by Ameu's boys while delivering injunction notice. It comes with a picture of John Peter Ameu there. That's one of the stories that we'll be taking a look at today on the AM show. We also have a picture of the Electoral Commission chairperson insistence on 24-hour declaration of results, part of post-election issues. That story has been attributed to Kwesi Ening, who is, of course, a security expert there. Also, we have political parties must allow state institutions space to operate. That's coming from the NCCE boss who was on the probe last night with MFA Apau. Then it's almost becoming a crime to be seen fighting corruption under NPP. That's according to Suleiman Abraham, Executive Secretary of the Media Foundation for West Africa. And Chairman Wuntumi justifies his failure to capture all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. Of course, it was their target going into the election. The last two, Mama, so that you can read for us a GJA statement. Akufo-Addo pledges to ensure peace post-election. The story that Mama Pito brought you shortly earlier. And corruption is, quote, business in Ghana. That story is also attributed to Christianity. So, Mama, back to our story about threats against journalists and what the GJA this morning is saying. They're calling, like I said, on President Akufo-Addo to condemn these attacks. But you have a detailed statement.
I do. And this statement was released on December 27, which was just yesterday, signed by the General Secretary of the Ghana Journalists Association, Kofi Yeboah. And I'm just going to read it out to you. The Ghana Journalists Association has received disturbing reports of death threats issued against freelance investigative journalist Manasseh Azoria-Wene from someone believed to be a political fanatic, aggrieved by an opinion piece written by the award-winning journalist on the outcome of the 2020 elections. We have also received similar reports of death threats against other journalists across the country by politically connected persons. This is the latest of a series of death threats issued against Manasseh in the past few years. But the venom in the latest death notice served on him via email is poisonous enough to snuff life, and for which reason the GJA wishes to sound the alarm bell for all to respond. The GJA totally condemns such barbaric contemplation, machination, orchestration, plot, and scheme, whether individually inspired or collectively conspired, to kill a journalist for discharging a lawful mandate guaranteed by the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Given the growing death of tolerance in our body politic and penchant by some people to resort to brutality, especially against journalists, given the reference to the gruesome murder of Ahmed Swale made by the threater to inform Manasseh about the fate that awaits him anytime he picked his pen to write.
So this person, if I could just jump in there, Mama, because before you wrap up, apparently is warning Manasseh, using Ahmed Swale as an example. Now, that's a very serious one. We know the circumstances that led to Ahmed Swale's, death. And so it makes this one very worrying to point that out. Even, I mean, we don't even know how the investigations on that particular Ahmed Swale case, ended, if it has ended. So to point it out, to say, you saw what happened to your brother, we're coming for you, I think that's very
because we know nobody has been punished.
Yes.
For that. Yeah,
for that.
And it's still an outstanding case.
Yeah.
But this person makes reference to what happened to him and says that, look at what happened to him.
It's terrible.
We're going to do the same thing
to
you.
So let's wrap up with this one.
Yeah, so just to the last paragraph, if you like, the last bit of the statement, it says, in the regard of the foregoing, we call on the Ghana Police Service to investigate, arrest, and prosecute the suspect as swiftly and decisively as possible. We also call on the police to provide adequate security to Manasseh and other journalists across the country who have similarly received death threats. We believe the seriousness the police attaches to these matters will help calm the nerves of journalists in particular, Ghanaians in general, and foreigners residents in the country about their safety and security. Well, they also make a call, Gifty, like you said earlier, on the president. Who's the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, to condemn the death threats against journalists and give a firm assurance about their safety and security. That we have not heard yet. We know the president spoke yesterday at their Thanksgiving, for the victory in the 2020 elections, but he's yet to touch on this.
To be fair, though, I think the statement came in
after that.
Later. So we're hopeful. And in fact, we're expecting to hear the president speak on this one. I think it's a very important step if he does take it, and he should take it, because then it sends the signal that I am not supporting this. If you don't, the silence is what gives people the strength to act with impunity. So, yeah.
There's also a call on the National Peace Council, the political parties, civil society organizations, religious organizations, and all meaning Ghanaians to roundly condemn the death threats issued against Manasseh and other journalists. And then they're also making a call on other international organizations as well. So we hope that this pressure will begin to build, and the persons mentioned here, those who are not even mentioned in the statement, will begin to come out and then condemn. Because these threats are coming from people who have political connections All right.
What this does, by the way, Mamavi, is that gradually, before you even speak, you are scared. So you won't speak at all. And that is a culture of silence that we have dealt with many years ago, that we have moved on from. Anyway, Masamo Yawa. So
no, I don't think so. I think it's a very important.
Yeah, I mean, it touches me very
issue.
personally, and I think this Ghana has come too far for us to retrogress this way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway,
so let's do graphic online. We don't have the hardcore paper, but we can go to their website. So this is what they're reporting today on their website. Don't predict election outcomes. Apostle Nyina to profit. On the same platform, there was a contradictory view because Chairman Wontumi, and we touched on his story about he defending the fact that they couldn't claim all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. No, not Wontumi. What's the other name? What's the name? Owusu Bempa. Yeah. Yes.
He was one of the invited
pastors
yes,
on the occasion,
the program.
But he disagreed with this.
I mean, you're okay to disagree with opinions. You're okay to disagree. I think that Apostle Onyina has his reasons, and he's made his argument. Anybody is free to agree or disagree. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think I would rather go for what Apostle Onyina says, because he says it creates tension.
Absolutely.
If you can predict it, I mean, just predict it to the people involved, and let them pray about it. But to make it a national statement, and then it becomes a conversation, and people are hardened. And anyway, Daily Graphic.
Okay, so the rest of the story, I will act in the interest of all Ghanaians, says President Akufo-Addo, and this was at yesterday's Thanksgiving. On COVID-19, Ghana's active case count increases to 871. There were videos or pictures of people who went to some of the beaches to celebrate, and their excuse was that, well, look at all the political activities that happened. Yeah. If they didn't spread COVID, why do you think that we, in celebrating, enjoying, would be spreading COVID? So don't tell us that.
Yeah. We make laws that we know we can't enforce.
Yeah.
I think we've come out and told people that don't do this, but the people who are in leadership are seen doing this. And someone was asking in a funny way that President Akufo-Addo says people shouldn't go to the beach. Does he have a Snapchat? No, is it Snapchat or an Instagram account? Because people are going and posting the pictures. You said we shouldn't go, but we are here. Hello.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I saw some statement by the Tourism Authority, and they said they're going to be following up on some of the beaches that
how do you stop it? So you see, how do you stop it? With all the people who are mossing at do we even have the ability to enforce that? If we don't deal with the agencies, the owners of a beach resort, you deal with the owners.
Well, not all the beaches have owners, so there are other places. So, I mean, it's open. You can walk from one stretch to the other, and you're still at the beach.
Yeah, but I think it's an individual thing. We should take it up on ourselves to protect ourselves. It maybe because people are not seeing deaths, they think that it's okay. But in Germany, in 24 hours, you have about 4. You've been talking to Thomas Sparrow,
yes,
our partners in Germany. They tell you how difficult a Christmas they've had. In 24 hours, people, like 400 people are dying. No, 4,000 people are dying and stuff.
Yeah,
people are. COVID is still here,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's do the rest of it. There's a tragic incident of a tricycle killing a pedestrian in Adenta. NDC heads to court on Wednesday to challenge election. Well, wait a minute. Apparently, it's not on Wednesday. It will be likely tomorrow. We have a member of the NDC legal team joining the show in a little bit, and he'll be sharing a lot more with us. So there are plenty other stories from what we've read and others on Graphic Online. That if you find any
there's my church there.
Which one's your church?
Methodist Church Ghana inducts lay president.
You go to Methodist?
Yes, I'm a Methodist. Why?
Oh, do you still go to Methodist?
Of course. Yesterday, I thought yesterday I was in church. I was in Methodist singing hymns. Why?
Oh, okay. Is that Presbyterian? I thought you're Presbyterian.
Really? But Presbyterian is very similar to Methodist. I thought you were going to go something more radical, because I'm a radical Methodist. I'm a radical Methodist. But my Methodist church, Bethel Methodist Church in Tema Community 8, is a very, Ojasho's church. But for the pews and the hymns, you wouldn't know it's a Methodist church.
Oh, okay, so that's it. Well, I mean, but Presby is also, I mean, we're also
Presby
cool like that.
We're
not,
like
yeah,
twins,
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your story, right?
Yes, it is. I just want to congratulate. Unfortunately, the thing is, I don't follow too much of these,
the traditional Methodist stories.
Mine is to come and pray and, But so that is William Orlings Aku Odro, is a lay president. Congratulations to him and congratulations to the Methodist Church. Well, which other stories? Let's see. Ghana present food ban, not very interesting to me. Rural Community Bank's money is intact. Deputy MD of Apex Bank, regulation won't stamp out false profits. Reverend Minister, an NDC demonstrated call for recollation of results, and that's a call that's been going. We'll find out, Mama V, I think, when you speak to Amaleba, whether or not they still stand by this, or as they go to court, that will be one of the demands they'll be making when they go to court.
Yeah.
And government.
All right, so we'll do City FM online. No, it's City Newsroom. I beg your pardon. So there we are right now. It says nearly 6,000 fires recorded in Ghana since January 2020, according to the fire service. I think one of the worrying issues is the fact that we actually don't see the reports of these fires. So we've recorded quite a number on top of my head. There was the Odona, Kantamanto, there was the GCB, there was one in Koforigia. I think same day, two happened same day, different regions. And we don't get to the bottom of it. So we can't tell the cause of these fires. So what kind of lessons are we really learning from it?
And a chunk of that happened, Mama V, in just December. I think a good number of fires were recorded in December. Like you're saying, it happens, we move on.
Yeah.
So let's move on from there.
All right, so this other issue, which is also developing in different areas, caught Bailiff allegedly assaulted by supporters of Peter Amewu. So if you read the story, it tells you how the Bailiff says that Mr. Amewu apparently saw it because he rolled down the glass of the car that he was seated in and then rolled it back up. So according to the narration, he saw it but didn't do anything about it. Our political affiliations shouldn't deter us from securing Ghana's space, Ghana's peace, according to the president. NPP holds election Thanksgiving service. We'll be telling you, we've been sharing fallout of that with you, and FDA intensifies inspections to prevent the sale of expired products. Some wicked persons take advantage of the occasions, the festivities, and they sell products that they shouldn't be selling because they're expired. They should be trashing them, but they either reduce it, make it a little cheap so that we can all buy it. They blind us. Some of them actually take the expiry dates off completely. And then, but the FDA is intensified, but we should also watch out so we don't buy expired products.
Individual responsibility. I mean, money is hard to come by, but your health is more important.
Absolutely. All right, so there are other stories, of course, all related to the elections as well on their websites. Gifty, we're going to do the BBC now.
All right, let's go international. Trump signs COVID relief and spending package, and that has been a bone of contention for the Republicans and the Democrats. They've been back and forth with it. Now, the measure, according to the story, restores unemployment benefits and averts a partial U.S. government shutdown. There was going to be a shutdown because I was going to say the minority and the majority, because the Democrats and the Republicans, by the way, the Democrats are, in charge of the Senate, they don't agree, and they have to agree, which is one of the things that people are scared could happen in Ghana if the opposition gets to be in the majority and gets to head to lead parliament. So they're having their own issues up there in the United States. But finally, Mr. Trump has signed the COVID relief and the spending package. So those who were affected by COVID can get some money over there.
One of his arguments was that the money that had been passed earlier was too small. So he wanted a lot more. So finally, what he wanted is what he has signed.
Oh, right. I see. Well, it's good for them. At least those who have been impacted by the COVID will get something.
But when I hear stories like that, I'm thinking, hey, Charlie, how about us?
America, company, right? Or you mean?
No, but at least they get something.
Okay,
they get something.
Okay. Well, we have the NBSI. We have the NBSI. I think I got the.
Yeah, it's for businesses. This is when because of COVID, you haven't worked, you haven't earned anything. The state is giving you money.
But we shared food.
State is giving you like $2,000. Gifty.
COVID. You see, I have friends who have been impacted, who have lost their jobs, and they're saying that the money is nothing.
Yeah, but it's something to other people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to other people. Yeah, of course. Okay. Hey, but I've also heard some U.S. citizens who are excited about the packages.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we shared food during lockdown.
Gifty, we're talking about now. This one is not lockdown situation.
We've done free water, free electricity, shared food.
Which we appreciate. Yes. I mean, we also got our own package. Yes. But I'm talking about this kind of advanced package. We should be aiming at doing something like that in the future.
I'm sure the president is listening. I'm sure the president is listening. So that if Trump can do it, we can do it too. So there is a story right there. So Babavi obviously provides a bit more of the context. So Trump has actually done what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Okay.
Oh, we want to listen. Can we listen to him?
Okay, let's see. One of my favorite guys right there.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's also a call on him to concede, okay, so that his legacy will be protected. Because as it is now, he's still disagreeing with the election results. Let's listen to Mr. Trump now. That next administration will take over from 20th January, by the way. He still says it could be him.
It could be me. Yeah. I mean, that's a very interesting.
He's not legally challenging his defeats.
But he hasn't said will be me. He said could be me. So what he's saying is that there is a possibility, as Americans will say, there is a possibility for him to be in power again.
Okay, so we're saying dream on, Mr. President, after 20th January.
Yeah, but I mean, many people are sort of moving on with their lives as we are here in Ghana. After the election, they're like, I mean, if it's clear enough that one party has won, let's just move on with our lives, wait for the next 4 years. But let's see how it goes for Mr. Trump. 20th year, Bebape. All right. So
there's a South African issue which is very important and scary in so many ways.
Very scary. South Africa passes 1 million COVID cases. Now, recently there was an outbreak of what they're calling a different strain of the virus, I think, and I think it's really impacting them. Now, if you look at South Africa, the demographics, you want to look at people they have a number of people living with HIV, AIDS. There are issues with tuberculosis as well. These are vulnerable people, and they are high risks as far as coronavirus is concerned. So it looks like it's really beating them at this time. But I really am confident in their ability to work it out. Their lockdown was very harsh. So I don't know why they're back to, it looks like the Christmas, people sort of went out, did what they wanted to do. But I really hope that they're able to
daily average of 11,700 new cases of COVID in South Africa. So this is a new milestone that they've just recorded.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Mapito, please, let's pray for our people.
Yeah.
All right. So how a pariah and a Nobel laureate became friends. It's an interesting story there. It looks like a feature. You can click on that. West Brom earned points at Liverpool. That sounds more like Mama V kind of story.
Yeah, they share the points.
Yes.
Otherwise, Liverpool would have gone up with 5-point difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the life of the hijabi model breaking boundaries. That story was written, what is it, Bristol? Okay, so it looks like this one is a model who wears the hijab.
Yeah. There was a recent one, I think this was also in Europe, and she had retired. She was sharing the difficulties. Sometimes they share the positive story like this, and you're like, oh, that's really cool.
Yes.
She's free to still be in her hijab and still do her thing.
Model.
But there are a lot of hurdles.
Yes.
So this one, it got to her, and she just suddenly just retired, and she was sharing her story.
It's not that easy because the people who believe in a certain way of dressing don't believe that you can add other complement and take out something. So they are the people who probably oppose you. But she looks pretty, very beautiful woman there. Well, if it's it's something that interests you, you can click on that story. It's on BBC. Take a look, educate yourself. Are we done, Mama V, with that one?
Yeah.
We should.
Oh, we've gone to Sky now. This is a trip around the world, really, with how the different portals are reporting the stories. So in the UK, hospital admissions near first wave peak as one ambulance service reports one of busiest days ever. I think I was listening to the fact that some of the ambulances are packed in, they're very close, not just even within the community, but in very specific areas. So as soon as they get the call, they're almost like right there. Yeah. And they're just picking people like that.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's really terrible. And in the UK, I think at a point there was a border closure between parts of Europe and the UK because apparently there was a strain in the UK that was killing people much faster. So Germany was concerned. I don't know how, somehow we here in Ghana seem to be, you know, I don't know if I should say we're blessed. Like, it just seems all okay for us here.
Somebody said it in another way. I mean, God knows. That he knows that we couldn't do like a quarter of what these other countries who are recording these huge cases are handling. We couldn't do that.
With all their money.
Yeah.
But you know, for those of us who believe in prayer, we believe that, you know, when it started, churches were praying, there was a national day of fasting, etc. For those of us who believe in prayer, we believe that it's part of the things that's working for us. So let's keep praying. But I think the mask wearing, taking care of ourselves has also largely helped, so we should keep at it. Okay, Sky for you, Mama.
All right, so let's do the CNN, shall we? Okay. I guess the biggest story in America is Trump signing the COVID relief bill after the delay. But, you know, people are excited now because they have more money, if you like. But
CNN is interesting with the way they report on Trump, you know. So there's an analysis there beneath Mr. Trump's picture. It says Trump chooses chaos with delayed signature of COVID relief bill. Then another one says, shouldn't be big news, bash on Trump signing COVID bill. GOP lawmaker on what was happening behind the scenes after Trump delayed bill. Analysis, why Trump is already the 2024 GOP frontrunner.
Hey.
Opinion, okay, that's, Trump plays golf. I mean, anyway, that's interesting.
They're not they're not friendly to Trump, are they?
That's an understatement. They are they are anti-Trump. You know, like they make it very, very obvious and very clear. I mean, they don't mince words. You can have an anchor sit on TV and rant and say all kinds of things and swear. And I mean, I look at that and I'm like, you can't do this in my hometown.
Well, no, wait a minute. There are other stations who are doing this in your hometown, Gift.
Really?
Yes, they are.
I haven't heard. Maybe that's why everybody's quiet.
If you come all out to say that you are a pro this, pro that.
Yeah.
Do you listen to those things?
No. I mean, I'm not talking about the media houses. I mean, obviously, most of them are owned by political parties, that by individuals who are politically connected. So I'm talking about a CNN, the CNN that we know, you know, and how they can sit on TV. And you know how we say it in Chi, now a super president, you know, like the way they...
You think that's not happening in Ghana?
No, but I mean, okay, let me say you can't do that in Joyne's. We can't do that.
So you're talking about the standard, right?
Exactly, and being professional.
Because of course you wouldn't hear that on BBC, for instance.
No, you won't. But I mean, it's like CNN. The people who watch CNN, everybody's like saying, now it's so...
Those who watch Fox will also tell you that they also take positions. And so it's just like the opposite of what happens.
Okay, I haven't followed Fox as much as I've followed CNN. So I can only speak for the CNN issue. And anyway, so police named Nashville bomber and released new surveillance video. So terrorism is still rife. I mean, the last time we thought that coronavirus would have changed their mind, but it looks like they're still, you know, they still have their courses and they follow it. And Chinese journalists who documented Wuhan coronavirus outbreak jailed for 4 years. That's for China.
So this person was just telling the story of how people were dying, how the hospitals were recording, and these were mostly unedited videos that she was sharing, given the update. And then she was arrested for, I think initially they said, sharing false information. She went on a hunger strike. I remember there were different things, and now here we are.
4 years.
With this jail
sentence. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody should go to jail for reporting something that was.
Well, is what governs their country.
Yeah.
So what you see here, you know, the freedom of speech that you enjoy, freedom of expression, that we say, it's not somebody's freedom in another country.
And that's why it worries some people when they see that, China is partnering most of the time with a lot of African countries, because they get the feeling that these people don't necessarily uphold the human rights the way we know it. And so when they become closer to you, the fear is that they will influence you. I mean, imagine an African president using China as an example and saying that you're going to go to jail because our constitution doesn't say that. Even though theirs says it, you might want to you risk people copying blindly because they are some kind of superpower and they engage them and give them money. But anyway, this is China for you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what has happened to a person who was independently reporting on the coronavirus pandemic. Remember when it first broke in Wuhan, and she's now received a 4-year sentence. Yeah. Okay, so our last stop is Al Jazeera. South Korea steps up virus vaccine efforts as new strain found. Government is facing criticism over its vaccine program, which is seen as being too slow. Okay. Trump signs COVID relief bill amid pressure, but arts conditions still.
I like the way the Al Jazeera is reporting that the Trump thing. I think it provides a bit of context if you look at it. He did it amid pressure, which is for real, and then he has a condition to it as well. I like the way they're reporting it.
I see your taste, Gifty.
Oh, yeah.
Also, experts are preparing to travel to Wuhan to investigate how COVID-19 emerged as China questions origins and spread. I guess now we've cleared our heads. We can now reason, and so we can now begin to find out the truth, instead of blame China and call it the China virus. Like, think about it properly and let's have a conversation. South Africa crosses 1 million cases of COVID-19. We've shared this with you already. Police named person is also something that Gifty shared on CNN. Unbelievably cruel. U.S. legislators pressed Trump about COVID aid. This was before the signing. Man charged in Illinois. Bowling alley shooting that killed 3. I haven't been following this issue much. I think for me, it's just been about the celebrations of Christmas, all the positive stories, not necessarily the negative ones, but this is something that's also brewing in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, the guns are available for people who can afford it. So sometimes it gets very easy to just reach out and discharge. Yeah, I think that's what has happened in this particular case. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Egyptian delegation visit Libyan capital for talks with GNA.
No, it's not the Ghana News Agency.
I know. But I mean, Libya is one country that I always, I feel very sad talking about it. Looking at where it was and where it is at the moment, it's just terrible. But
yeah. And those who teamed up to initially go into the country and start the wall in the first place, how have they been contributing to its recovery from where it is today? I guess that's what makes me very angry. Yeah.
It makes you angry. Anger is good. Anger is good.
Fauci warns U.S. COVID-19 outbreak may worsen after holidays. Oof. Well,
yeah, I mean, that's inevitable.
It may not be a Trump administration the next time. Otherwise, we would have dealt with him again.
It could be me, he said.
Yeah, it could be him.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But hopefully, like you're saying, if it is not Mr. Trump, then the expectation is that Biden listens more to the scientists. I mean, that has been their argument. So they'll be able to do something about it. I mean, Mr. Trump was in denial for a very long time.
Well, okay, so this is where we will end it, really. We hope that we've given you a fair appreciation of what's happening across the world. As we're in the holiday mood, sometimes we don't even know what's happening, but this is what is being reported across the globe. Gifty and I will take a breather. When we come back, we've got a lot of conversations. So in 2 parts, some of us were in some... Gifty, where were you on Christmas Day?
I won't say. I
have some of your pictures. I'll put it out.
Really?
Yes.
Mama, be seriously. Okay. I won't say. But I tried to just make it something.
Hide and seek.
No, Mama, why? I just tried to do something different. I'd usually just be working or be at home, so I just did something different. So let's just leave it at that.
All right. So what did you do differently this year? What has did COVID affect your Christmas celebrations? We will be talking about that, but also be digging into the NDC's position. Where are they with the action that they are seeking? You know, if you like, to take elections. Thank you, Gifty. So all of that coming up.
I got you. You know,
right,
I got you.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a girls' show. Special AM show is Gifty and myself. So stay with us all through till 9 a.m. So this week, the NDC goes to court. They disagree with the outcome of the 2020 elections, the presidential elections, as declared by the Electoral Commission. A member of the legal team, Abraham Amaliba, is on the show this morning to talk us through the matters. A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Mama.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So first of all, tell us about your findings when you went out to some of the places in the country on this 2020 elections, because I remember the party sent its legal team outside to go and collect, was it evidence? Because you believe that you had won the elections and not the MPP's candidate. So what did you find?
So let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. The event that you are talking about had to do with Senate East and Techima South, where a team led by the General Secretary and some of our lawyers went to those constituencies to ensure that the proper thing is done. And in the case of Senate West, eventually, when the counting was done, the NDC won that seat. What is outstanding is the Techima South. But in talking about our findings, when our flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, rejected the outcome of the elections, the party immediately put together a team of auditors made up of mathematicians, statisticians, accountants to audit the pink sheets. That exercise completed some few days ago, and they came out with their findings.
So you now have all the pink sheets?
We now have them. Now, having completed their work, they gave us the findings of their work. The party looked at it, and the party then came to the firm conclusion that some infractions have been occasioned, and so instructed the legal team to head to court. And that is why probably tomorrow we will be in court to file an election petition.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because even before the auditors got to work, you were convinced that you had won the elections.
That is so, because we had a strong room, and that strong room was turning out results. We also were convinced that we had won Parliament. And immediately they heard that, I mean the MPP heard that, they sent tax to go to some constituencies and literally beat up people and have the returning officers announce results in favor of their candidates.
Really?
Literally.
Which places are you?
Techima South is one where people were killed. Techima South is one. They did similar things at Upper West Denchira, which we resisted. They did same in Takwa in Swayem. Takwa in Swayem was another place where they used the military, they used the police to go and harass and intimidate the returning officers, and they called the elections for them. In Techima South, for instance, there was no coalition at all. No coalition at all. In Techima South...
But you say you have pink sheets now.
We have pink sheets, but there was no... after the pink sheets, you have to have what is called a summary sheet, which is like a coalition sheet for all the polling stations in that constituency. That was not done in Techima South.
So that you don't have?
That we don't have.
But you have the individual?
Oh, yes. We have and so when we put them together, we know the NDC has won. That is what the EC is refusing to give us, because there was no collation done. There was no proper collation done in Techima South. You remember when the Mensa was announcing the results, she said that Techima South was still outstanding. Now, there were issues relating to recounting. That was done. And so the next morning, 8 a.m., the people were becoming agitated and asking the questions, why is the coalition not done? I am told that the regional elections officer came to the Techima South constituency and promised that he was going to do the coalition, but he needed to rush to Senate East to resolve a matter. So whilst he went to Senate East, the PC, and then the...
Who's PC?
The MPP PC, Marta J. Kosa, my good friend, and then also the district chief executive for that area came with the military, and that was where the shooting began, and some announcement was made indicating that the seat had gone to the MPP.
So you didn't have agents there?
Our agents were beaten up. If you watch the video, people were beat. Our PC was even manhandled. Our PC. If you saw the video, you see it. People were beaten.
Okay. So one of the issues.
Some were killed. You know, some were killed.
The issues you had with Techima South is the fact that collation wasn't done.
Yes.
Okay.
And yet, results were declared in favor of the MPP.
So in all, there are 5 constituencies that you're contesting, correct? Well, you're not in court yet.
We are not in court yet. Yeah.
Okay, but you're taking 5 constituencies on.
We intend to do so.
Okay, great. But let's come to the presidential. You say you may go to court on Tuesday. Is it a may or there's a definite position?
We are going to court. And what I mean is that there's a clear decision to go to court on the presidential elections. And we'll file our petition. That's what I mean.
Okay. But that's when you say it could be tomorrow, Tuesday.
It could be tomorrow, it could be Wednesday. Okay. But the team will decide.
Okay. So what are your issues?
I will not want to put away all information. It is important to note that our opponents are listening, and it's not. We do not want to put out all the information before we file the petition.
But eventually, when you file, your opponents will know exactly
but not now.
What you filed.
We don't want them, but not now. That's what I said before the petition. It's not. But on top of my head could just be the arithmetic errors that were committed by Jim Mensah in declaring the Nana Akufo-Addo as duly elected.
I remember during, the Electoral Commission has said that that mistake did not affect the outcome of the election. Yes. So is that what you're contesting, or when you put together the numbers, you got a different figure?
So she was trying to pull a wool over our eyes. When we use our mathematicians and our statisticians to subject what she's announced as the results, there were a number of flaws. That one, if you do it properly, Nana Akufo-Addo will come to 49-point-something%. What she did and eventually came out to say that, but it doesn't affect.
Okay, and NDC's John Dramani Mahama would get what percent?
No, nobody will cross 50 plus 1.
Okay, so that will take us into a runoff.
That one, yes. But there are other issues that we are sending to court, and if it is upheld, can overturn the results. And those are the issues that I say, just wait. When we file our petition, we'll see them. Okay,
so with the issues, the issue with the numbers, the figures that you say, if you put together with the changes, what are you asking the court specifically to do on that?
So with the mathematical error that was occasioned by her announcement, on that particular relief, we would indicate to the court that if you do it properly, this will be the outcome. However, we would want the court to commission an independent person to do it for all to see. Don't also forget that we will be requesting for auditing of the electoral materials.
Is it? Oh, okay.
You remember our flag bearer call on the EC if the EC thinks that it has discharged its responsibilities well, to allow for the auditing of the pink sheets. She has since turned it down. I think the proper forum to do that will be in the court. So, and don't forget, in the last election petition, the Supreme Court orders for the auditing of the pink sheets.
Yeah,
so
that was something that critics were asking the NDC to do instead of call on the Electoral Commission. And, you know, the call was go to courts and let that happen through the courts.
But why?
That's what happened in the 2012-2013 petition.
Yes. Why would you, if the matter is capable of being resolved, if the matter is capable of being dealt with without going to courts, why don't you do that? Why don't you open up? Indeed, before she announced the results, we had sent a petition to her, which is done.
Well,
all over.
That's something that I'm yet to hear Jean Mensa herself speak to it, but other officials of the commission say that they had not seen any petition.
Why? If I'm sending a petition to your head of department, am I supposed to share it with you and everybody before I get there?
Didn't we see the minority march to the Electoral Commission?
No, what I mean is that while we had agents in the strong room, these agents in the strong room, at the time that the results were coming, saw some anomalies and sent a petition to Jean Mensa in her office, not in the strong room, in her office.
So were there witnesses?
But why? Why should there be witnesses?
Oh, I'm just asking, because now that we haven't heard anybody else apart from the NDC,
yes, the NDC
say that a petition was presented.
Yes, if you want a copy, we can produce it. We sent a petition to the EC boss. She told our representative to go talk to the flag bearer, who would in turn speak to the Peace Council, and the Peace Council would then intervene in that matter. Immediately our people left, she switched off her phone and started the announcement.
So this was your agents versus the chairperson of the Electoral Commission?
Yes.
Okay.
And there are correspondences between she and our agents on the phone of one of them. She even promised that if they went and they got stuck, she would send her motorcade to come and bring them
Is this a recorded audio? Or
that
this
is
was text?
That is it. I'm saying that there are some of the communication in one of them's phone. He has it.
Okay. So you still insist that she ignored your petition?
She ignored us. In the past, Afarijan would normally hear the two sides and say that, no, I don't think that there's a problem, so I'll go ahead and announce, and you can go proceed to court. But typical of Jean Mensa, she will not listen to anybody. She doesn't hear evil. She doesn't see evil. So what she could do was to trick the NDC people to leave the scene. You realize that when they were announced, the NDC agents were not there. They were then at the flag bearer's office.
So your
house.
agents got tricked by the Electoral Commission chairperson?
Yes, that's what she did. She did that by asking them to go and see the flag bearer, only for her to then decide to announce without them. And you heard McMahon saying that our people ran away. Ran away for what? Why would they run away?
Okay, so how many issues? Because you added the auditing of the results. That's also a different issue that you're raising?
Mama V, if you notice, I am telling you issues that are already in the public domain and that are common to every Ghanaian. And that's what I talked about, the errors committed in the arithmetic. And I talked about also the issue of auditing, because our flag bearer had mentioned it.
But I won't auditing, if we're using what the court did with the 2012 petition, that's something that it would ask for itself in arriving at a conclusion. So is this something that you must specifically request for?
But what if the Supreme Court decides not to do that? So you must specifically ask for it. and let it be that, oh, already we are going to do it. But if you fail to ask for it, then you cannot be in court saying that they should do it. Because if the Supreme Court thinks otherwise and think that it's not so necessary to do the auditing, you cannot hold them responsible because you didn't ask for it. So when you are going to court, ask for all the reliefs that you want. You don't do it piecemeal. You get to a point, you say, I want this. Then when they finish, say, I want this. You must ask for your relief for the court to also know that those are the things you want for certainty purposes.
Okay. So you're still, and also how many issues again?
No, if you say how many issues, I can tell you that there will be more than these 2 issues.
Okay.
I just gave you 2, but there will be more than these 2 issues. Don't forget that when you are going to court, you have to hold close to your chest, your strategy. You don't sit on national television and tell your opponent who is listening now all the strategies. And you would have been naked before you get to court. You are going to be a lawyer very soon. So I think that, take that from me. Don't put out all your strategy in the public domain and then think that the other person will not counter. Even these 2 that I've mentioned, which is obvious that they know, but now they are also doing their homework, trying to see how they can counter that. The essence of the game is to ensure that you do not let your opponent get to know what strategy you have in court. That is much important.
Let's be clear, though. They will also have the time to respond because, per the rules, they will have 10 days after you file to give a response to the court. So this is something that will be open for everybody to see and hear, and they'll have enough time to also give a response.
That is so. And don't forget that the rules have now changed, and you cannot have a long hearing of the case. You just need some 42 days, and the hearing will end. So this time, too, there will be pre-trial conference, if you want, case management. Lawyers of the 2 sides will go in. They will look at their pleadings together with their exhibits and then be certain that these are the number of exhibits we are bringing. There are 10,000. Then these people also say that, well, we have also brought 5,000. So all those matters will be settled during case management. So that when you then come out into open court, the trial will now just go on swiftly.
But that's all of that would happen within 42 days.
That's so. That's so.
All right. So, well, we wish you well. And I guess we'll wait to see. It's just tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday. That's the deadline, by the way, within which, if you have a case, you think you're convinced you have a case, you can file a petition. But there's also another issue with residents of Central Kofi, Akwafu, Lolobi, Likpe areas who are crying that they've been shortchanged. Is that a concern by the NDC? We'll come back to that issue, but we want to listen to the Volta Regional Minister on this, particularly in the aftermath of the court bailiff who was allegedly assaulted.
Yes, I think that they deserve their democratic rights to do whatever they want to do. But we are very grateful to God for how far He has brought this country, Ghana. We were very apprehensive, but we've had a peaceful Ghana before, during, and after the elections. So it is important that we show gratitude to God, because we have always said that the battle is the Lord's. And once the Lord has granted us the peace of our nation, and Ghana is still together, we need to come and give praise and thanks to the Almighty God.
Honorable, for you as a regional minister, there's something happening in your region with regards to the Hohoi constituency. In fact, just yesterday, we were told that the bailiff was going to serve the MP-elect for the area was assaulted. I don't know if that has come to your attention, and what the security situation generally in the Volta region.
No, the security situation in the Volta region is under control. We don't have any threat to the peace of the region as of now. everything has been peaceful. You recall that during the elections, everybody was worried about voter rigging, but the elections in voter rigging went on peacefully, and the people of the voter rigging want to maintain the peace. So we assure the people of Ghana that as far as voter rigging is concerned, we are peaceful having people, and we shall continue to be peaceful in the region.
So, but we heard about the Bailiff who was attacked yesterday. I don't know, was going to serve the MP elect for oil.
No, I've not been informed of that yet, but I'll find out.
What do you make of all the controversy around the election, parliamentary election in your?
No, because that was a miracle. People never expected it. People never expected that MPP will win a seat in a voter region, and it has happened. So, Baham is going to be a struggle, but it has happened.
No, but the point is that it was deliberate to take some people off the constituency in order to allow your candidate to win the election.
No, it wasn't so. It wasn't so. It wasn't so. The OT region was created in 2018, 2019. OT region was created, and the Guan area has been part and parcel of the OT region, and there was a Supreme Court ruling that those people cannot be part of the Hokwe constituency. So as far as we are concerned, it is settled. We have a seat in the voter region, and that's only the first. More are going to come.
And we are insisting that those from Lolobi, Akpafu do not belong to the Hokwe.
No, they don't, because they belong to the OT region. And Hokwe is not part of the OT region.
So you're confident that your candidate in the voter region, that is Bitameu, is going to emerge victor of this?
He is an MP elect for Hokwe constituency, and will be sworn in on the 7th of January as the member of parliament for Hokwe.
But there's an injunction on him, do you know that?
Don't worry about that.
They're asking the court to refrain him from holding himself out as the MP elect for the area.
No, I think we are going to meet them in court. There will be arguments in court, right, and the judge will take a decision.
So my colleague Parker Wilson, they're interacting with the Volta Regional Minister. He heads the security in the region, and that's why specific questions of security matters concerning Hohoi was put to him. Well, in that conversation, he said he had not been briefed about the bailiff who was assaulted, so he didn't specifically speak to that matter. But Mr. Malba, is this an issue that the NDC is interested in, and how are you following it?
No, we are very much interested. Don't forget that the people who have been excluded from voting for their MP have the right to exercise their choice as to who they want to be their MP. And I've heard people say that, why is the NDC demonstrating? Why don't you go to court? As if demonstrating is not part of our democratic processes. But this is a message to those who are saying that go to court. And we'll go to court. In the case of Hohoi, there is an interim injunction. A bailiff of a court is going to serve the PC, Ameu, and he's beaten up. I've not heard the critical voices in this country condemn that act. Look at him. I know him. I know
Which critical voices were you?
I've not heard the Peace Council. I've not heard the Peace Council condemn this act, because they are on the rooftops saying that go to court. Now, a group of Ghanaians say that they will not demonstrate because that's what they say we shouldn't do, even though it is legitimate to do so. They heeded to the call of the Peace Council and went to court. Court processes are going to be served on Ameu, and he's beaten up. I expected those who were championing go to court, to have issued a statement condemning the beating of this bailiff. Those hypocrites who think that the MPP and Akufo-Addo are always right, but when the NDC does something, it's wrong. God is watching them too. Most of them are pastors, and God is watching them. You cannot, on one breath, be championing a certain cause, asking the NDC, stop demonstrating, go to court. A section of the NDC or a section of Ghanaians decided to go to court. Brutalities have been meted out to a citizen of this country by Amewu's people.
That's an allegation.
And nobody. But who beat, who beat the man?
That's been alleged.
No. Who beat the man? Tell me. Who, apart from Amewu and his boys, who beat this bailiff? His wife?
But why would they?
No, his wife.
Why would they beat him?
Because he was coming to save Amewu court processes. And they think that the court processes are a hindrance to them.
But that's something that if you are served or not, in terms of if you directly receive it or not, it won't stop the court from taking its action.
Because you are studying law, you always want to...
No.
I'm saying that somebody has...
I'm not bringing studies. You're saying that.
I am saying that...
I'm only trying to... Because you're saying that Amewu and his boys beat him. And I'm asking, why would they do that? And then you said that is to stop them from being served, right? Or stop Mr. Amewu from being served. But I'm just pointing out to you that whether you directly receive the document or not, it really doesn't stop anything.
Has there been a beating or not? Has there been a beating or not?
Well, there has, but you and I didn't see the beating, did we?
Does somebody have a puff face, and is there blood coming out of somebody's mouth or not? What are you talking about court process? I'm not interested in court process. I'm talking about the health of that man who was beaten.
Yeah, but you're
and I'm saying that
you're not even making an allegation. You say straight ahead that it was Peter Amewu and his boys who did the beating.
Yes.
I was just drawing your attention to the fact that that still is an allegation.
It's not an allegation because the man who was beating himself said they were the people beating. Unless you want to say that the man who was beaten did not know that those who were beating him.
So, Mr. Malba, what you have just done now is to attribute it to the bailiff. But that's not what you did earlier. So I guess we're clear now, so we can move on.
If I am going to go back and give a history of whatever I'm going to say, this program will not end. That's why I gave you a simple rhetorical question. Who else will beat this man who is going to serve Amewu and Co? The wife? No. His brother? No. So I am saying that, let's not digress. Those who are saying that we should go to court, they've started beating people who have been in court, and court processes are being served. Where is the Christian Council on this? Where is the Peace Council on this? Where is Emil Short on this? Emil Short is a lawyer. Why won't he condemn this? Why is it that they are afraid to speak under Akufo-Addo? Why is it that there are atrocities happening in this country, and yet the critical voices who spoke under Mahama are all quiet?
Why are you making a direct call to Emil Short?
Emil Short, if you don't know, is the chair of the eminent persons that the EC put together. Am I okay now? Can I proceed? So, look, unless you, me, and your cameraman begin to talk to these people in plain language, that you cannot on one breath condemn one political party for certain acts, and when another political party comes, you keep mute. You can't do that. You can't. So they themselves must be criticized, and we must begin to critique them. And that's what I'm doing this morning. You are the ones who are criticizing the NDC for demonstrating. I expect that this is like the second day. Yesterday, I think it happened yesterday. Today is the second day. I've not yet heard a statement.
This happened on Saturday, I think.
So now 2 days. 2 days. When Mahama said boot for boot, did you hear the chairman of the Peace Council say? What did he say? He came out and condemned Mahama. When Anadu said, all die be die, he was mute. That is the kind of thing that will not help this country. When this country descends into chaos, it will not be the actions of the government. It will be the failure on the part of the critical voices, the hypocritical people who have decided to keep quiet. They will be the persons. And for Akufo-Addo and his government, they want to intimidate people to continue to be in government. They will buy people. They will kill people to be in government. But those critical voices must begin to talk. When the Peace Council came to the NDC's office, let me tell you.
I want us to have, and I think we started very well, but where you're going now won't help all of us. Because you're making You're making wild allegations.
Somebody is beaten.
As for Nana Akufo-Addo and his people,
yes,
they will kill people.
Yes,
they will bite.
Why didn't they kill people at Techima South? Didn't soldiers kill people at Techima South?
Yeah, but you're specifically linking it to the president.
Yes, the president. Who is the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? Have those people been rebooked? When he was
no.
Have those people been removed?
Mr. Malaba, I want us to have a decent,
have those people
Mr. Malaba, I want us to have a decent conversation.
That is
and
the
I will
problem.
not allow you to make statements like that because that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
If you don't
but we all know that something has happened.
If you don't want me on your show,
investigated.
If you don't want me on your show because I speak the truth, you can let me go.
No,
I'll go.
Mr. Malaba,
because this is not my house.
You're also a legal practitioner.
This is your house.
We're
this
a
is
legal
office.
practitioner.
So if you want me,
Mr. Malaba, it has
I am saying that who is the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces?
It has nothing to do with the fact that this is my house. It has everything to do with us having a very decent conversation.
Which includes not criticizing wrongdoing.
Yeah, but you are. That's a wild allegation that you're making.
That the president is the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
That the president killed people.
I said
just for power.
I'm saying
and
that
that's a wrong thing to say.
I'm saying that.
You shouldn't say that.
I'm saying that this government would do what it would take to be in government, but the critical voices must be the ones to rise up and speak against it. People have been killed in Techima.
So I think that is fair when you speak like that. But people when you make direct allegations that we cannot substantiate, we will not allow that to go on. So if you agree that we can continue and have a decent
people have been killed,
but we will do that.
I was worried on the day that the president was doing his acceptance speech. He failed to mention the killings in Techima and said everything went up peacefully and that the EC had done a yeoman's work. When 5 people were killed in Techima South, they are not Ghanaians. I expected the president to have made a passing comment and to at least assuage the pains of the family of those who lost their life. Nothing happened. And I'm saying that here. You just showed. Somebody has been beaten. Is that not a Ghanaian? Your former colleague, Manas Azure, has been threatened because he made comments about the elections. So you think that because those things are not directed at you, it's okay?
No.
So
Mr. Balaba, what you've even just said now, that's not fair to me. Because that's an issue that we have even discussed this morning on the show with the threats. And it's not just Manasseh. There are some of us even here who have been threatened. So the fact that you haven't seen us come out individually to come and speak doesn't mean that. But we have filed complaints at the police and they're investigating the matter. But you can't say that. But Mr. Malaba, I just want to say that, see, the other comment that you made in terms of the tragedy that has happened with people being killed, that's something that is being investigated, we're told. But that's something that we continue to talk about. Nobody is happy about that situation. But I think that
the Bailiff.
Of course. Why did we even show it? Why did we even show it? Why are we even talking about it?
You even said it's today the 3rd day or 2nd day. Has any of those critical voices that indicated the NDC should go to court, have they spoken against this? Have they? Aren't you worried that those who were cajoling the NDC, coaxing the NDC to go to court, now people have gone to court, they are going to serve processes, you are disrupting the court process, beating people up, and they are not talking. Is that not worrying? What would then happen to we lawyers if we then go to court and represent one side? This is a bailiff they're beaten. The lawyer who is directly in the case, is his life, can you say he's safe?
Well, what have you heard? You're also a lawyer.
You see, don't trivialize this thing. No. This bailiff by now is either in the hospital, his wife by now is worried about all this. So please, join me to call on the people, the Peace Council, the Christian Council, Emil Short, and all the pastors, the churches, imams, to criticize the beating of this bailiff. You may see him as an insignificant person, but when an injustice is done to somebody, it means that that injustice is against all of us. We must have people who will protect people like the bailiff. And I want you to join me, rather than critiquing me for criticizing those people who are not speaking.
Mr. Malba, you're not appreciating the opportunity that you have this morning on this platform. What else are we doing? you are talking, you are making your appeal, and I don't think that that's been hindered. That's an opportunity that you've also been given to add your voice. I'm only saying that we will not associate ourselves when you mention specifically some certain allegations that we cannot substantiate.
So leave me to carry my
yeah, but you're also sitting on my platform. So when you make wild allegations, I will not allow you to continue. That's all that I'm saying.
So yes, we all have our rights. So if you will not allow me, fine, I have said it, and then we can proceed.
Yeah, we're going to allow you to stick to the facts. Okay. Is this an issue, because you say that this is something that the NDC is interested in? Would we see you take any kind of action?
This is a criminal case. Clearly, I'm sure the bailiff will be advised to go and report to the police station.
That has already been done.
Exactly. So this is a criminal case. What we will be looking out for is to see how the police will handle this. And then we could give him, the bailiff, some legal assistance. That I can assure you, as the Director of Legal Affairs, I can instruct my lawyers in the Volta region to give him some
but would
legal
he even need that? Because he was there in the name of the court. So wouldn't the court take its own action?
No, but that doesn't stop us from giving legal assistance, free legal assistance. That is done. The court doesn't have lawyers. The court doesn't have its own lawyers. The court would rely on lawyers from the general pool. So what I'm saying is that this is a criminal matter. We'll watch brief. Lawyers in criminal matters will watch brief and see how the prosecution will handle this case. Look at how he is. Look at his face, puff face. These are people who have indicated that they are the doyen of rule of law, that's the MPP. Now you have a bailiff going to serve a document alone, and he's beaten to pulp. What has become of your principles that you are a government that looks up to the rule of law and democracy? What has become of it?
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave the conversation here. You're in court either tomorrow or Wednesday, the last day.
There's also the issue of Canada, Japan threatening to burn the houses of some of our leaders. That is also an issue that the CID must take seriously. Burning. We've gotten to a point that people can now sit on national television and openly declare Armageddon. That's where we have gotten to.
Is that matter that you've drawn the police attention to?
No, we've written to the police, and we'll be at the CID headquarters tomorrow to have a chit-chat with them and see the way forward. Threatening the former president's life by saying you burn his house and other senior general secretary by a member of parliament should be something worrying.
Why are you waiting till tomorrow to have a conversation with the police on this matter?
No, it's a holiday. Will they be there? It's a holiday.
So you haven't reported the incident?
The incident will formally be reported tomorrow to the CID headquarters.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then the parliamentary issues, when would we see you go to court on those?
I can tell you that yesterday the legal team met. We have finished our draft. I can indicate to you that we would be able to file within next week. But that is dependent on if they have gazetted the parliamentary results. Don't forget that there was some brouhaha about the gazetting. The man in charge of the agency says that, yes, it has been brought, but we are not selling. EC says that what you see as a gazette is not a gazette. You know, the EC has never gotten anything right ever since the elections ended. That's the kind of EC you have. The credibility of that EC is now thrown to the dogs. Errors reading EC. Simple gazetting, which is done, and you don't even hear in previous times. Now, this EC, you remember, could not even put in a CI. You remember he had to withdraw CI 3 times, 4 times That's the kind of
no, but isn't that something that happens with the, making regulations? We see that happen all the time in Parliament, except that maybe this one had the publicity because of the nature, because it's a main election. But we see regulations being withdrawn all the time from Parliament and taken back.
Tell me and Farajan which regulation was withdrawn. Tell me and Charlotte which regulation was withdrawn. The reason why in those days you didn't hear regulations withdrawn was because the EC worked with the political parties to fashion out the regulation. This EC will not talk to any political party. They are on their own. They have virtually decided that they will not deal with IPAC. IPAC is now an information sharing platform. We are going to do this. Well, we are going to do this. But no longer a platform where the political parties are stakeholders work with the EC to come out with an outcome.
I guess we're where we are now. You're going to court. So we'll see how things develop from the court. We'll be following up to see if you actually do it tomorrow or Wednesday, but we will be sure to report it. Ms. Abraham Amalaba is a member of the NDC's legal team. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay with us. We still have plenty more to share with you on this holiday.
And so you're welcome back. I was going to say we are back. We are back, of course, and you are welcome back. This is the AM show with me, Gifty Andwapia, and Mamavi Owuswa Boaje. It is a holiday edition, and we're doing it all girly. I'm sure that it's excited you. And when women are in charge, things flow smoothly, things are better, lives are better.
Are you campaigning for something?
No, I am not. But I want all the women out there at home today to feel that we're representing you. You are well represented. In fact, we outnumber the men in the country. So, we're in a good place. Mama V, are you uncomfortable?
No, I'm not. I will vote for you anytime, any day.
Oh, I know. One day.
Just go for it.
Or maybe I'll be president of China, not Ghana.
Oh.
It's too difficult to rule this country. Okay, so talking about bailiffs and, who have been, the bailiff who said he was beaten by people he describes as Mr. Ameu's men. We've been trying to reach Mr. Ameu to get his own, side of the story. We've not been successful. He's not responded to our calls. But let's go on Facebook and find out what some of you have been saying about this particular story. So the story we put there, a bailiff dispatched to serve an injunction notice on Energy Minister John Peter Ameu is alleging that he's been assaulted. According to him, he was assaulted by men whom he claims embattled Hohoi MP, who he claims are the embattled Hohoi MP elects boys. Okay. So let's take a look at what some of you have been saying. I'm starting with Bukari Yusuf. He says, we have been warned that they are taking back control of their country. So any law or that of Constitution isn't part of the law. My countrymen and women, be citizens and not spectators. To add here, be extra, and extremely vigilant. Eric Edu Jemfi says, crafty way of reporting. He is alleging journalism under attack. If it had been the other side, the reporting would have been that NDC beat a bailiff or Mohammed's men beat court bailiff. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Well, that will certainly not happen on Joy News. We report it as it happens, and we are professionals at doing our job. But thank you for your comment. Emos Owusu says, no amount of Ameu's threat will make him an MP in this flawed election. He should better behave. Certainly, we know where to, challenge the result of elections, and that's where we've pointed everybody, the NDC, the MPP, whoever has those concerns. Common sense economist says, assault of bailiff doing just his job. The tyrant will be surprised of the Supreme Court outcome. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means. Let me move to Alex Atta Tichinsia. He says, those showing others to go to court, now evading service, unbelievable. This is shameful and backward, even for a person seeking a seater position to behave this way. Seater position? Or you mean that seeking a seat? You said it's, okay, he says this is shameful and backward.
True.
Yeah, if it is true, I think we'll stick to that one. The state must be interested in bringing the perpetrators to book to earn the respect in the eyes of the international community. And Mamavi, on the back of that particular point that this texter or this person makes, I'd like to say that one of the most revered institutions in this country is the judiciary. Now, the last thing we want to do is spite our judiciary. The last thing we want to do is walk all over our judiciary in the name of politics. That would be a very dangerous place for us to be. It might be somebody today, but it could be you tomorrow. And so we are all at risk if we don't handle this issue. I mean, yeah, if someone is coming to serve notice and the person gets beaten and nothing is done, nothing is said.
That's an attack on the courts.
Yeah, nothing is done, nothing
is... That's the last place, really.
Exactly.
Because, see, as NDC is disputing the outcome of the result, everybody says go to court. And so if we're doing that to the courts...
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the same court you want to now return to and ask them to adjudicate on a matter that everybody else ought to take seriously?
Absolutely.
We need to protect our institution. And so on the back of that point, I just wanted to add a bit of that. Francis Tosu says, Amewu will have his day in court, and this hatred will be a thing of the past. The tougher one's enemies, the higher one flies. The battle remains the Lord's. Let me take this final one. We can probably return to this to these comments later. This one, okay, so Musa Suleiman says, in Lolobi and others who didn't vote in the parliamentary, Nana had a little over 2,000. Mahama had almost 1,100. 11,000. So you can imagine, these people must vote. So long as their votes in the presidential was added to that of Hohwe, whether you like it or yes. Mama, you smiled. I'm not getting the joke there. Did you get it?
Maybe I did. So he's just using, I mean, it's not a necessarily a correct analogy because you can win. We know that a candidate can win in the presidential, but the parliamentary candidate on that same ticket
can lose.
Yes. So in a sense, even though I get it, you know, you can't use that as a measure. But he's saying that if you look at the votes that the NDC's candidate got, which is, 11,000, if you were to translate that into the parliamentary candidate vote, if you were to add that, that would be very significant.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Like I said, we'll probably return to these comments much later. But Mama V, remember we were talking about going to the beach?
Yes, and we know that beaches officially are closed unless it's a private one, but there are people who are still doing it. Manuel Cranting is our colleague. He's at the La Pleasure Beach right now. What can he report? What's happening there? Manuel, over to you.
Yes, Mama V, if you can hear me. Well, this has been the signage here at the La Pleasure Beach Resort for at least the past 8 to 9 months. And the sign says no swimming, and that came on the back of the president's directive for beaches to be closed on the wake in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Essentially, that was to prevent the sort of crowding that we saw at the beaches prior to the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, if you look here, all these are chairs which ordinarily would have been serving patrons who visit the beaches. Well, this has been empty, and the picture has been like this, for instance, almost 9 months now. But something is developing, and you've seen the president consistently re-echo and emphasize on the fact that the beaches need to be closed. I think just about 4 days ago, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the GTA, went about clamping down on facilities which were operating against the directive of the president. But I've been here for a while, and the engagement that I've been having with the managers of the La Pleasure Beach Resort is that really they cannot continue to shut down the place because, of course, having been non-functional and non-operational for over 9 months, there are sources of income, and if you like, their kitty is depleted, and they have to find a source of income. And that's why, even against the president's directive and the sort of enforcement that was sought to be done by the Ghana Tourism Authority, they have begun operating. And this, for instance, is evidence of what happened here last night. And so what debris of kebab sticks, of caps, plastic caps and bottles and plastic plates, all of them showing you what last night was like here at the La Pleasure Beach Resort. So I'm going to try and, speak to the managers here to find out why, first of all, they are in flagrant disregard of the president's directive for them to close, and whether or not they are not, worried about the possible implications of their continuous operation, even before the president and, as it were, his team of COVID-19 experts who advise him bring out a directive for them to resume operations. And so I'm going to just sit beside them and talk to them. Grateful that you could speak to us here on Journeys. Good morning, sir.
Fine morning, sir.
Great. What's your name, sir?
Michael Techi.
Okay, so what do you do here?
I'm a worker here. I assist the manager in doing the sanitation work here.
Okay, so you are the sanitation manager?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. How long have you, shut down?
Over 10 months now.
Okay.
Over 10 months now we have been shutting down, and we think...
10 months, that will be before even Ghana recorded this first case?
Okay, from March, these things was shut down, and we think from March up to, let's take it, October, November, nobody comes here up to October. We've been sacking people, beach closed and other things. But 3 months, from March, 3 months around the line, we see that they're hoping the pubs and bars that they should work. But we didn't allow our people who have a bar here to work because we are the beach they are talking about. So we make sure all the protocols must work. That is what we do. As time goes on, we see all the beaches are working. And we have every place, wherever you go, when they see that the beaches start working, when you sack them, they don't accept to go. They are forcing to enter because the beach are working.
No, but how did the beaches get open? We know the president has said that the beaches should be closed, and consistently, even up until the 20th address that he delivered last week, he says that the beaches should be closed. So who is operating?
Yes, we don't know who is operating, but all the beaches in Accra here, everybody is operating. We have evidence shows from Shatta Beach, Laboma, Tawala, Sandbox, Kolegono Beach, Sakumono, all over. We have beaches, shows that all the beaches are working. So it's the people who've been coming around. They are the people going to the beach. And when they come, we sack them. They say, no, we have been going to some beaches. Why are you people close? Massa. So we move. No.
But I mean, let's be fair, so that you are saying, we cannot independently verify, but you're saying that some beaches are operating, but that doesn't mean that you should not operate. We know that the president directive is what we move with, and so is it the cue that you took from them that because they are operating, you're also going to operate?
We don't understand. That's why. Okay. We don't understand. So we just want to understand. So what we are doing this thing because of we don't understand the whole show is going on. So we need them to come closer so that they should tell us whatever we should understand better so that...
What we've been told is that you're supposed to close the beaches because of the sort of crowding that we see at the beaches. I mean, the engagements really at the beaches, body to body, touches and, physical interactions. That's almost like the main, means of spread of the virus. And so they say, shut down up until we know it's safe enough. That's not a good enough a reason.
It's too good. It's too good, but that's for sake of some reasons. We don't understand because it's good if that's so. But you can see rallies. You see, if that is what is going to bring the sickness to the people of Ghana, I don't think that's why we don't understand. We need them to come closer. We have been moving to them. They don't tell us something.
I'll ask you about the interaction, the sort of engagement you've had with the authorities, for instance, the Ghana Tourism Authority, which you directly fall under. But let me speak to you, Michael. He says what the rallies and so on. The Minister of Information has told us that, or based on the assessment, the COVID-19 cases, are not really affected by the political activities that we had prior to the elections. That's a justification, no?
Yeah, they can say that, but we believe it. I personally am believing that Ghanaians themselves are not believing in that COVID-19, because you can see in the rallies how people crowded, the walks that they went, even how they do their political things. Ghanaians themselves, they don't believe in COVID-19. Yes, that's why you can see people trooping in here to come to the beach. So now we are pleading with the government to just open the beach for us, because as we talk to the tourism authorities, they give us the protocols to follow, and we think with that there's no problem with coming to the beach. So we are
so people have been coming.
People have been coming since the COVID started in March, and we are sucking them. Yes, but it seems like because they are going to the other beaches, they are trying to come to here too. But here is a very big, it can take a very big capacity here, and if we allow that, the crowd will be here. We know people likes the beach, Lapari Beach. Yes, so we didn't allow them in. At times the police are here to help us sucking them. But during the election period, the police were not here, and the people too are coming. And the work here is very huge. Yes, because
you couldn't contain them. You actually allowed them.
We did our best, and now after the elections, during the campaigns and the rallies, we can see that we, the Ghanaians self, we don't believe in the COVID. So why not we allow them and make sure that they obey the protocols.
So what you do now is allow them to come in and then enforce the protocols. Yes. When you say what protocols you enforce, for instance?
We make sure without nose masks you don't enter. Okay. You can see that we have mounted the no swimming symbols here. Yes. That's the main thing we are doing it there.
Okay, great. You want to add something?
Yeah. They wash their hands, sanitation themselves. We have screen machines, and all the protocols we know. Maybe, to be honest to ourselves, when you come around, friend to friend, your friend cannot sit like this. Oh, let me sit here so that you sit here. They can do so. They can't do it. That will be the only thing. But I can tell you by sure, all the protocols.
We know a couple of days ago, the GTA went around enforcing, closing down pubs, closing down, the beaches and so on. Were they here?
Yeah, we heard. They only bring someone sticker here. But the reason is, they open all the spots. And these people are spots. So if someone said he's coming to beach to eat, we can't stop the person. I'm going to pub to eat. You can't do anything.
Are you not using the people who come here just as an excuse to say that, we can't stop them so that you just make some money?
No. We have stopped them over 7 months or 8 months. So why not? That is not the issue.
So it's not a matter of money.
This is not a matter of, you can see the Ghanaians, they want to be happy. Ghanaians need to be happy. And where they know they will be happy is Labadi Beach. So they are forcing to be happy. Okay. We don't stop anything. Not everybody that you see there. We don't take money as whatever,
Let's be fair. Yeah. Let's be real also. How much, for instance, did you used to make before COVID-19 and shut down the beaches?
That would be the back door.
Okay. Give us a picture.
I can't say it, please.
But I mean, you sell tickets. I know you buy VAT tickets and all that.
Yeah. We buy VAT tickets. At least holidays we can buy tickets like 15,000, 10,000 tickets for holidays. Only. That means huge money for the government to gain. So we don't understand. Because even the election time, you can see things. Just allow us so that we should operate a few months or whatsoever, so that you see whether we can't or we can.
Okay, so you want government to allow you to operate for just some observation and evaluation?
Yes, so that it should see whether the sickness can disturb us or not. That is what we want to know, because so that to me, for now, we don't understand what is going on. before we will understand, you have given us the timeline. When you give us the timeline, and then we all see whatever you, the government, you are saying is true.
We know, and we'll wrap up shortly, but we know that the government has been providing some support in terms of funding, financing for businesses, the cap bar support system. Have you received anything, since you've been shut down since, March, as you say, have you received any support from government?
Nothing. That one is fact. Nothing have been given to us. But what we heard is they pass through us, they come to the pubs, and they have been donating something. We heard so, but we don't know because they didn't call the management to release that thing for them. So what we are pleading to the government, please, you should give us timeline to understand this sickness. We want to understand this sickness. So it should give us time.
How long are you looking at? Maybe how long do you want government to allow you to operate?
It's up to him. It's up to the government. Because he will assess whatever we would do and make sure that, okay, because of this thing, if I do this, you people, I can get you. If I do this, then I will know whatever the case.
So what I'm getting from you is that the GT has not, engaged with you. They've not engaged with the managers of the beaches.
We went there. We have been engaging. That is the protocol Mamlora is talking about. They give us protocols. This is the situation. This is what we're supposed to. If we really want to work, it's okay, fine. We will see. So we have some copy. But for what I told you before, some of the people around sabotaging our work, we don't know what is going on.
So today is a holiday typically, and the place before COVID-19 would have been full by midday. Is this something you're expecting today?
Yes. Not that we are expecting. The people of Ghana will come. This is their happiness place. Labadi Beach.
Right.
This is their happiness place. When you sack somebody, it will not go. He or she will not move. My brother, don't stop me coming to beach. Why are you stopping me to come to beach? I'm going to beach.
Is that really the picture? People come here and force their way inside?
Yes. At times, when we stop them at the gate, they even used to pay at the hotel and just pass there and force themselves inside the beach.
I see.
Yes.
So if somebody forces him or herself to the beach, what do you do normally?
At times, when they are inside the beach, you see them exercising themselves. Some people are quietly enjoying themselves with their friends.
So Manuel Cranton roving for us from the La Pleasure Beach and talking to operators there. Of course, they're expressing displeasure. They're not in business, but they see others close to them who have been operating. Listen, here's a report from the Daily Graphic gift here, because we're talking about the fact that people still go to the beaches.
Yep.
So the Daily Graphic on Christmas Day got some pictures from the Sacramento Beach.
Oh, wow.
These are revelers doing their own thing on Christmas Day, even though beaches are supposed to be closed for fears of further spreading COVID-19.
So the thing is, has it not been, or had it not been for the ban, you would see hundreds of people at this particular beach. Yeah. I mean, this is close to my church, so I pass by all the time. I didn't see this yesterday, but this was supposed to be 25th.
So this was on Friday on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, people really can't be bothered come day. Yeah.
So, the thing is that how is it being enforced? Because others are in business, some of them are not in business. So you see these guys managing the La Pleasure Beach, talking about the fact that they've been closed for such a long time, even though there are activities happening elsewhere.
The thing is that how many police officers will you need to stop these people from getting into the water? And do we have the numbers? I don't know how we'll be able to get through this, but maybe we can work it out. All right, this is still the AM show. We're going to take a very quick break. We still have the package from Maxwell Agbaba that we want to share with you. When we come back, we have some more.
Amazing, Gifty. I enjoyed it.
I did. I actually thought it was a Christmas. I mean, some school, has put together a Christmas message or something. But that's really a nice thing. You see, once it started, you kept saying, "But who has to travel to their country, to their hometown for census?"
Yeah.
Well, they answered it at the end of the show.
It's a very creative piece that the Ghana Statistical said, because you got our attention, and I actually focused on the traveling to get counted.
Yes.
So in the end, you got the message across to me. You kind of addressed the thing that I was talking about.
It's really cool. Yeah. And I mean, kudos to those kids. There's some great actors and actresses we have there. We should put them in Gollywood. Or we should take them to Nollywood.
No, we'll take them to Hollywood. Hello.
Hey.
Now, the Nationalism Park and the Rich Runabout have been transformed with beautiful lights decorations as we celebrate Christmas and the New Year. Jandel Limited, together with its partners, have made it possible again this year. Maxwell Agbagba has been speaking to some children who say they wish for the new year, or their wish is for the coronavirus to vanish from the surface of the earth. He's also been speaking to the woman behind the decorations, Miss Afi Imoro.
Well, this is the Nationalism Park, which is sandwiched between the Accra Sports Stadium and the Independence Square. This park has been transformed into a fun park with different themes of lights celebrating the Christmas. Well, a lot of families are here, children with their parents, old people alike, also here having a good time with food, drinks, and music, and of course, the lights that has beautified this park. With the permission of their parents, we'll be speaking to some of the children here to find out from them what Christmas means to them and why they are here to have fun. Come, let's go inside. Well, it's a lot of enjoyment and a lot of fun here for these children. It's Christmas time and they're here with their family enjoying. It's a perfect enjoyment time. But guess what? These children have been telling me. They say they want coronavirus to vanish from the surface of the earth. That definitely is a wish they would make to a genie if they come across one.
We like Christmas because it's fun.
Okay. What's your name?
We want coronavirus to go away.
It should go away. Okay. Why do you want it to go? So you can have fun?
We want it to go so that we can go to church and school.
Oh, okay.
We want to go to church and school to worship the word of God and learn.
Okay, so that's how you want it to go. Okay. But are you having fun this Christmas?
Yes.
You love Christmas?
Yes.
You love Christmas?
Yes!
You love this place?
Yes!
You love the lights?
Yes!
My name is Charles Alalia Melakru. I'm 11 years. Oh, this Christmas during coronavirus, it was somehow about we take it like that. Oh yeah, I want the coronavirus. That's my prayer, so that we can go anywhere without masks. Right now, if you are going somewhere, the mask is stressful and things. So I wanted to go. Yeah.
What do you think about this park?
Oh, very nice. It's good. Whoever did it, may God bless the person.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Do you like Christmas? You do?
Yes.
You like Christmas?
Yes.
Nice. What's your name?
Urimi.
Oh, how old are you?
4 years.
4 years. Nice. Do you like Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, you like Christmas?
Okay. What's your name?
Jenny Mango.
Come again?
Jenny Mango.
Okay. How old are you?
8 years.
8 years. You like Christmas?
Yes, please.
Can you tell us why you like Christmas? You want to share with us why you like Christmas? You want to share with us? Okay, share with us why you like Christmas.
Because Santa is around and it's Jesus' birthday and we have fun in Christmas.
Oh. Are you having a good time here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jamingo, tell me, do you love the light here? How beautiful is the light here?
Yes. I like it, I love it, and I feel it.
Oh, okay. Nice. Would you want it to be here like all the time, the whole time?
Yes, please.
Okay. Is it beautiful?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Jamingo. What's your name?
Kevin Annan.
Kevin Annan. Okay. So tell me, how old are you?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. Why do you like Christmas? Why do you enjoy Christmas?
Because it was the day our Savior was born.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I have so much fun.
You have so much fun. Great. Okay. What's your name?
Jason Mango.
Oh, your sister is Jean Mingo. Oh, okay. Why do you also like Christmas?
Because of gifts and fun.
Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, we're still here at the Nationalism Park. It has been transformed into a fun park with different, light themes, significant and reflecting the mood and the bliss of Christmas. A lot of families are here. A lot of children are here who get up together with their parents. They're having a good time, enjoying the music, enjoying the food, enjoying the drinks, enjoying the lights, taking beautiful pictures and selfies here at the Nationalism Park. You definitely have to be here. But we have the person who is behind all of this, the beautification, of the capital city with these lights. We have with us Madam Afi Imoro, who is the CEO of Jandel. She's going to tell us more about what they've done here at this park. Tell us more about what we have here at the Nationalism Park and then the Ridge Roundabout.
Yes, thank you, Maxwell, for giving me the opportunity. We all know how important it is to give children memories. So this actually informed my decision to do something like this, primarily because I think the spirit of Christmas is three-pronged: social, economic, and religious. All these things that you see, they help to lift up the spirits of the people and lift up the spirits of the children. So these are the things that inform us to do what we do. So the first time we went to Ridge, we found that the footfalls in there were really great. And we found that there was nowhere for them to really relax because it was a kind of restricted space, So we decided that let's look for a place where we could let the children just be themselves and have fun. And that's when we chose the Nationalism Park, and with the AMA and Kokma and all the municipalities who have supported us, we were able to pull this through.
Okay.
Yes.
So we see various light themes. Of course, you are the one who knows, these lights inside out. Yeah. I don't know much about them. Yes. You want to tell us what kind of designs we have here, what kind of materials went into these?
Sure. Yes. My emphasis is more on doing a lot of Ghana. So, for instance, if you come here in the daytime, you'll find out that we have daytime value. And when you come here in the night, we have nighttime value. The nighttime value is the lights in whatever you see. All the trees here have been wrapped in African fabric. So when you come here, you will see some in kente, some in African fabrics. All the trees here. And so it gives it that vibrancy in the daytime. And then in the night, they are you see the lights on the trees. So we also tried to use a lot of fabric, African fabric in some of our designs. And then we also went back to the old cars, but we think we did it more better, more defined. We did a lot of scrap work, old ties again, old cars, and we did try to bring the Ghanaian touch to it, because we want this also to be another brand Ghana thing, that people will come and say, this year we want to spend Christmas in Ghana, to see how they do it. And this would be one of the highlights of their visit. So we have tried as much as possible to give children the happiness that they need, and also give the adults also an opportunity to also take in the sights and distress.
Wow, wow. We know a lot of work goes into this. Tell us how many days, I mean weeks, it took you to put all of this together, and what kind of work went into it?
Yeah, on the average, I would say that we used around 200 skilled workers who otherwise would have been at home, not doing anything. So we kind of, put them together. We have electricians, we have welders, we have carpenters. Some are working out of our location, and some and bringing in the things, and some are working on location. So we come them and then they go out there and work. I am so proud of this team of workers, this team of dedicated artisans who are going over and above and bringing in their own ideas. Mommy, do you think that if we do it this way, how do you think? And some of the ideas are right on point. So we have got talent. Ghana has got talent. Let's tap into it. Let's conscientize Ghanaians to think Ghana and do Ghana.
Okay, think Ghana and do Ghana. You have that. Coronavirus affected everything. So before we wrap up and talk about some of the distractions, of some of your properties, let's talk about coronavirus and how it affected you. Did it affect you in any way? The business in any way?
Well, here, I'm telling you, it's not a business, as you see. It's free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's free. Yeah. But we will, we are looking at various things. I have partners now, and they are ably supporting us. That is Malun Law and BTL Ghana. And they have curated the experience part of whatever is going on here. So they are providing the music and giving us the shows and all that. And I am providing aesthetics and designing and creating. So we are a team that believe that we can, move this to another height in the near future. We have already found out EcoBank has taken us, and we want to thank our stakeholders, those who believed in this and have supported us, and a lot of the corporate bodies, a lot of the banks came on board, and they are the ones who have made it possible.
So we're certainly making lemonade with the lemons that life throws at us. Even if she's not doing what she used to do, the mainstream decor, she's still certainly created this. I think we started last year, and this year we're going on with it. Hopefully people won't be stealing her material, the ones that she used to prepare those decorations, and they'll be intact. Because I think they make Accra beautiful. They look at those kids. They were excited. Yeah, they said are you happy? They say yes. Children and the way they scream. Anyway, so Mama V, you're going to show me something.
Oh yes, I want to show you something, and I'll call on our director Yao to put it on the screen right now. See, can you read it?
You are entering a dignified seat. Okay, so Mama, there's certainly a story behind this.
This is Kwewu East, right? Okay. And it's in Kwewu in Kwetia.
Okay.
And this is just when you're entering Abetifi. Okay. Okay. That's where I was for Christmas, and I saw the sign. This is the assembly sign. Oh, this is
you are entering a dignified city.
And when you're exiting, it tells you you're leaving a dignified city.
I mean, maybe we should get them to explain to us why does it seem to be a deliberate attempt to say dignified?
Yeah.
Is it that it is not dignified, or it has become undignified, or
well?
Okay, well. Producer just says the signage is in the bush. It looks like there needs to be some weeding. But Mama, what? I mean, give us a brief idea what you did.
So this is what I think, because you live in Prioso to this side.
Okay.
It's like you live one town to the other. I guess it's just. I don't want to say it's a shade, even though it comes across like that, but I guess it's just a distinction between where you've come from and where you're going next.
Really?
You get what I mean?
Like, is it so quiet or beautiful, like greenery? What gives you that?
I love the two towns. Okay. I love Empire, so I love Abetifi.
Hey.
The whole Kwewu place is incredible.
Wow.
So many things, and I think that Easter kind of crowds.
Yeah, it crowds the space. Yeah,
exactly, and you don't get to appreciate it. And Christmas was a perfect time to see the beauty of the place and also to take part in all those adventures.
Yeah, that you would have been crowded out of if it was the Kwewu kind of.
So forget paragliding. There are so many amazing things to do there.
Now
so I was here in Kwewu East, but I was exploring the south as well.
Hey.
Yeah. Chalet. I mean, you can. What I mean when I say forget paragliding, I'm not saying forget it.
That is the attraction usually for during Easter.
All I'm saying is that there are also amazing places. So I went to the mystical cave. Okay. There's this whole tradition to it that it is believed. The people of Kwewu came from the Ashanti region, other places. So they have some of their people in Mampong, for instance. I think there were 2 other places in the Ashanti region that was mentioned to me. That when there is war, they call on their people in Kwewu and other settlements, to come and support them.
Yeah. It actually still happens in the northern part of the country. When ethnic groups are fighting, there are people who have moved across the country. They still come around to help to support.
Okay, so similar thing.
Okay.
But this mystical cave is a place where the fighters go. It's kind of like a mysterious place where sometimes when they go and hide in there, the enemies can't see them.
They hide there.
They hide in there.
Okay.
But sometimes they also go there so that they come out strong, like you say.
Okay.
They go and do things to themselves. Well, nobody they go and do things in there. And it's one of the things that happened there. But the whole history is going away if we don't keep telling.
The story.
So they just created an atmosphere where you go and they tell you the anansisem before they take you there so that you can go and do the hiking.
Now I'm jealous.
So it was a hiking expedition, which was incredible.
Hey,
I will be sharing some pictures later
I think that at this point, the Kwewu East
and then I went to the
assembly we should take an invoice to the
and then the Abetifi Stone Age. That's also a place where the history is that some persons from Legon discovered not too long ago that there were people living in a certain cave. That's where the Stone Age. So this is different from the mystical cave. This is the Abetifi Stone Age.
Okay.
And so there is this curator who's imagined the kind of people who were living there at the time with small heads and big feet. So he's also trying to create it. But there are some materials that he's still keeping that existed at the time.
All right.
And so that's also one of the many beautiful places that you can go when you visit.
Oh
my God, am I an ambassador for Kwewu?
I think you have become. But I think I always love places when they're not crowded.
Yeah.
I'm not happy to share what I did on Christmas because I wanted.
But it was also a beautiful place.
Yeah. Seriously, no.
I shouldn't say it.
No, don't.
Okay. You should pay me.
That's blackmail. Seriously, that's blackmail. I should send in a report to CID right now.
I'll say it.
No, I just want to keep it private because.
Should I mention a region at least?
No.
100 cedis.
No.
100.
I'll pay later. I just want to keep it private. I mean, for once, my life has always been an open book, and I say things freely. But for once, I'm just putting myself to test here. So help me. I'm not sharing where I went, but I think Mama Vi had a great experience. She went with her husband and her 2 kids. So 4 of you are not in the same room, right?
No.
Yes, I knew it.
With my nephew as well.
Apparently that's enough. Okay. So Mama Vi had a lot of fun.
See what you are saying. I just want to mention where you went. You don't want me to, but look at what all you're
a lot of fun. That families
all
could do.
I said was you are entering a dignified city.
I'm saying you can do that with your family just like Mama Vi did. Your husband, your kids, you can have fun. We'll be right back. This is the AM show.